Two women, same age, same city. One just bought her first pair of hiking shoes at 82, the other is counting pills, staring at the ceiling, wondering where it all went wrong. So what happened? It wasn't genetics. It wasn't money. It wasn't luck. It was the habits, the tiny invisible choices they made every day. What they ate, how they moved, what they believed was still possible. Most women don't live past 80, but the ones who do, they live star. They dance, they laugh, they stay sharp, strong, and full of purpose. And today we're uncovering the 5 secrets that help them get there, not just to 100, but to 100 with power, clarity, and joy. If you're ready to stop waiting for decline and start designing the second half of your life with intention, you're in the right place. 1. Movement isn't exercise, it's a way of life. Helen is 86. She doesn't wear a Fitbit, she doesn't count steps, she doesn't go to the gym, and yet she moves more than most people half her age. Every morning she opens the curtains, breathes in the fresh air, sweeps her porch, waters her garden, and takes a slow walk around the block. Nothing extreme, nothing scheduled, but it's what she does every single day. To Helen, movement isn't a task on a to-do list, it's simply how she lives. Around the world in places like Okinawa, Sardinia, and Nicoya, the famous blue zones where people live past 90 and even 100, this way of life is normal. They're not lifting weights or doing spin class, but they are constantly in gentle motion, gardening, cleaning, walking, cooking, dancing. Movement isn't a workout, it's a way of existing, and that matters more than most people realize. After 60, the greatest risk to health isn't age, it's inactivity. When we stop moving, muscles shrink, bones weaken, balance fades, circulation slows. The body begins to rust, not because of time, but because of stillness. But the good news is the reverse is also true. When you keep your body in motion, even in small, joyful ways, you wake everything back up, your strength, your energy, your clarity, your confidence. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy routines. What you need is consistent daily movement that you enjoy. Start with 15 minutes of walking each morning. Stretch after every meal. Sweep your front steps. Dance in your kitchen. Tend to a plant. Reach for a shelf. Lift a pot. Sway to music. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be regular. Your body doesn't need to be pushed, it just needs to be used. The women who live to 100 aren't superhuman, they're simply in motion every day. Gentle, purposeful, repeated movement keeps their heart strong, their brain sharp, and their spirit awake. So today, instead of saying, I should exercise, just say this, I'm going to move because I still can. That one shift, from burden to joy, from obligation to rhythm, might just change everything. Because motion isn't optional, motion is life. And you, my friend, are still very much alive. 2. Eat to live, not live to eat. In one corner of the kitchen, a plate piled with fried food, buttered toast, sugary cereal, and a glass of cola fizzing in the sun. It looks comforting, maybe even nostalgic, but deep down we know it's the kind of comfort that comes at a cost. Across the table, something simpler, a bowl of oats with banana and chia seeds, a plate of grilled fish beside roasted vegetables, and a cup of warm ginger tea. Less flashy, but full of life. Here's the truth, the women who live well into their 90s and beyond, they don't follow trendy diets. They don't obsess over calories, and they certainly don't fall for every new superfood on the internet. What they do is eat with intention. They eat slowly. They eat clean. And above all, they eat to nourish, not to numb. Many of these centenarian women, from Okinawa to Sardinia to Loma Linda, share the same secret, they eat simply but purposefully. Their plates are filled with foods that grow close to the earth, leafy greens, bright fruits, root vegetables, whole grains, legumes, herbs, and healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. Fish is often their protein of choice, not red meat. And sugar? It's a rare visitor, not a daily guest. But it's not just what they eat, it's how they approach their meals. These women don't rush through breakfast with the morning news blaring in the background. They don't eat dinner in front of the television. They sit down. They breathe. They give thanks. Some even say a small prayer before the first bite, not out of habit, but out of respect, because they know food is a gift, and the way you treat it shapes the way it treats you. Let's break it down with something you can apply right now. For breakfast, the bowl of oatmeal with half a sliced banana, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a few crushed walnuts. Add a pinch of cinnamon if you'd like. For lunch, a fillet of salmon or grilled tofu paired with steamed broccoli, carrots, and a drizzle of olive oil. Add a few olives or a slice of avocado. For an afternoon snack, the handful of fresh berries, a few slices of apple, and a warm cup of ginger or chamomile tea. Simple, satisfying, and deeply healing from the inside out. Because here's the deeper truth, food doesn't just fuel your body, it sends instructions. Every bite tells your heart, your brain, your bones, your cells what to do next. Will you feed inflammation or fight it? Will you nourish strength or speed up decline? The women who live past 100 know this. They don't chase youth, they chase energy, clarity, freedom in their bodies. And food is their first line of defense. So the next time you sit down to eat, pause and ask, is this meal helping me heal, or is it quietly stealing my strength? You don't have to overhaul everything, just begin with one meal, one plate, one small shift toward vitality over convenience. And over time, your body will thank you in the most powerful way, by keeping you strong, alert, and alive. Not just for more years, but for better years. Because longevity isn't luck. It's lunch. And what you choose to eat today might just be the reason you're still dancing at your great-granddaughter's wedding one day. 3. Is your brain really old, or just unused? It starts quietly. You forget where you placed your glasses again. You enter a room and pause, confused about why you're there. The words that used to come so easily now take an extra beat. And maybe you brush it off, I'm just tired. It's normal at this age. But somewhere deep down, you're wondering, is my mind slowing down for real? Let me introduce you to Miss Ellen, 74 years old. Every morning, she opens her journal and writes 3 things she's grateful for. Then she grabs a book, not a light novel, but a history biography, and underlines passages with purpose. Later, you'll find her video calling her granddaughter, teaching her how to bake a recipe passed down from her mother. In the evening, she plays Sudoku, and yes, she still struggles with level 5, but she loves the challenge. Now contrast that with her old friend Carol. Same age, same history, but most mornings Carol just sits in front of the TV, remote in one hand, phone in the other. News, commercials, silence, repeat. I used to love reading, she says, but these days my mind just can't focus like it used to. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud, it's not always age that makes the brain fade, it's inactivity. And just like a muscle that hasn't been used, the brain begins to atrophy when it's left idle. Not overnight. Slowly, silently, but steadily. The women who live the longest and stay the sharpest don't all have perfect genes, they have intentional routines. They use their minds daily, and they don't wait for motivation. They know the cost of not challenging themselves, and they choose to stay engaged. Because here's what neuroscience proves, and what common sense confirms, the brain never loses its capacity to grow unless we stop giving it reasons to. And the good news? You don't need to enroll in university or solve quantum physics. You just need to stay curious, stay interested, stay mentally alive. Let's break this into practical steps. 1. Give your brain a new first every day. Read a new article. Watch a documentary. Try cooking a dish from a culture you've never explored. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be new. 2. Train your memory like a game. Challenge yourself to remember a list of groceries without writing them down. Recall 5 names from your childhood. Play matching games. Learn one new word each week and use it in a sentence. 3. Create, don't just consume. Write a letter. Journal. Sketch. Start a garden and keep a log of how it grows. Every act of creation, no matter how small, fires up your cognitive circuits like nothing else. 4. Teach what you know. Call your grandchild. Tell them a family story. Explain how you used to write letters by hand. Teaching keeps you sharp and connects generations in a powerful way. Now I want to tell you something powerful. Every time you tell yourself I'm too old to learn that, you're reinforcing decline. And every time you say let me try anyway, you're rewiring your brain for resilience. The women who live to 100, they're not all fluent in technology, but they're willing to figure it out. They're not all highly educated, but they never stop being students of life. So if your brain feels a little foggy lately, ask yourself this: when was the last time you challenged it? Surprised it? Taught it something new? Because age doesn't close the mind. Habit does. But habits can change, starting now. 4. Don't believe that aging is your destiny. You've heard the phrase. Maybe from a doctor. Maybe from a friend. Maybe in your own voice when you woke up with stiff joints, or when a grandchild ran ahead and you thought, I just don't have the energy anymore. It's just what happens when you get older. But what if that phrase isn't truth, just tradition? What if the biggest thing holding you back isn't your age, but your belief about age? Because here's the real secret: most women don't stop moving, dreaming, or growing because of biology. They stop because someone told them it's time to slow down, and they believed it. They start to internalize quiet messages: you should sit more. You shouldn't travel alone. You're too old to wear that, try that, be that. And slowly, their world begins to shrink. Not because their body demands it, but because the mind quietly closes the door. But here's what the longest living women in the world have in common: they never stopped walking through doors. They never stopped asking what's next for me. They reject the idea that age is a full stop. They see it as a comma, a chapter break, never the end of the story. At 74, one woman decided to take her first piano lesson. At 81, another picked up her suitcase and traveled solo to Ireland. At 95, a grandmother started writing the memoir her children begged her for 20 years ago. Not one of them said I'm too old. They said I still have time. Because the moment you start to believe that your best days are behind you, your body listens. Your energy dips. Your posture slumps. Your spark dulls. But the reverse is just as true. When you tell yourself I'm still capable, your body responds. Your mind re-engages. Your confidence returns. Science backs this up. Studies show that people who have a positive belief about aging, who see it as a phase of potential, not decline, live on average 7.5 years longer than those who don't. Why? Because belief affects biology. Your thoughts shape your choices, and your choices shape your life. So what can you do? Start by catching your inner dialogue. When you hear yourself say, I'm too old for this, pause. Replace it with this is new for me, but I'm open to it. Set one micro goal every month, something small but meaningful. Learn a new stretch. Memorize a poem. Cook something from scratch. Learn how to video call without help. Celebrate effort, not perfection. Surround yourself with possibility. Watch stories of women older than you doing bold, unexpected things. Follow role models who are aging with power, not fear. Remind yourself that you can still surprise the world and yourself. And maybe most important of all, don't apologize for your age. Don't shrink your laughter. Don't dress in beige because someone said it's age appropriate. You have earned your presence, your opinion, your space in the spotlight. Aging is not your fault. But accepting decline as your destiny? That's a choice. And it's one you can choose to stop making today. So the next time someone says you're how old? Look them in the eye, smile, and say yes, and I'm just getting started. Because your story isn't over. Not even close. And the next chapter? It's going to be your boldest yet. 5. Purpose is the most powerful longevity medicine. It doesn't happen overnight. It begins slowly, like a dimming light. One day, the kids don't need you the same way. The phone doesn't ring as much. The calendar, once packed with errands, work, school events, family dinners, now holds long blank spaces. And while some women embrace the quiet, for many others, that silence starts to echo, "What am I waking up for now? Who still needs me? What's left for me to do?" But here's what the world's longest living women have figured out: the body follows the heart. And when the heart loses purpose, the body begins to fade, not because it's old, but because it's unanchored. Purpose is more than a motivational poster or a feel-good word, it is biological fuel. Studies from Harvard, the National Institute on Aging, and across the world's blue zones have shown that people with a clear sense of purpose are significantly more likely to live longer, healthier, and more vibrant lives. Not by chance, but by design. Think about it: when you know why you're getting up in the morning, your brain releases different chemicals. Your immune system functions better. Your nervous system calms. Your memory sharpens. Your inflammation drops. Purpose isn't just emotional, it's cellular. Let me tell you about Margaret, age 91. She doesn't run marathons. She doesn't take dozens of supplements. What she does every Tuesday and Thursday is read to second graders at her local elementary school. And every Sunday, she bakes a double batch of muffins for the senior center where she leads a memoir writing workshop. She once said, "I may not be as fast as I used to be, but I still matter to someone, and that keeps me going." Margaret is not a celebrity. She doesn't have a TED Talk. But she has something stronger, a reason to show up. And she's not alone. The longest living women, whether in Okinawa, Italy, or Iowa, all share this thread: they never stopped being needed, never stopped giving, and never stopped growing. They shifted their sense of worth from doing everything to doing something meaningful. Sometimes that's a small garden they tend to every morning. Sometimes it's mentoring younger women. Sometimes it's making quilts for newborns at the local hospital. Whatever it is, it's theirs. It lights them up. It reminds them, "I am still here, and I still have something to give." So if you've ever found yourself wondering, "What now?" the answer isn't out there, it's inside you. Your purpose doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to save the world. But it does have to touch your world. Here's where to begin. Start by reconnecting with the things that once brought you joy. Was it cooking? Start a weekend recipe share with friends or family. Was it storytelling? Begin writing your memories, for your children, your grandchildren, for yourself. Did you once teach? Mentor someone online. Share your wisdom. The next generation is starving for the kind of grounded perspective only someone your age can give. Or maybe it's simpler: adopt a plant. Name it. Care for it. It sounds small, but even that is purpose: nurturing, showing up, giving life. And remember, your purpose can evolve. Maybe today it's taking care of your health so you can walk your granddaughter down the aisle. Tomorrow it may be volunteering at the library. The next day it might be calling someone who feels forgotten. Don't overthink it. Just ask, what makes me feel alive? Who or what needs my love today? Because when you're connected to a purpose, any purpose, your body listens. Your energy rises. Your memory clears. Your posture lifts. You look younger not because you're fighting aging, but because you're embracing life. So don't let retirement or loss or age convince you that you're done. You're not. Your best chapter might be the one you haven't written yet. And every day you wake up with purpose is another day your body will fight to keep you here, strong, resilient, and alive. Purpose is not a luxury. It's not a bonus. It's a necessity. It is the one medicine no doctor can prescribe, but you can choose it every single day. Because when you know why you're here, even at 60, 70, 80, 90, life opens up. It sharpens. It sings. So ask yourself, what will get me out of bed tomorrow? Whatever your answer is, follow it. That is where your long life begins. The journey continues. As the sun sets gently over a quiet park, a woman in her late 70s walks hand in hand with her granddaughter. Her steps are steady, her posture upright, her eyes alive. There's no rush, no destination, just the beauty of being here, fully present. The little girl giggles at something, and the woman smiles, not just with her lips, but with a kind of inner radiance that only comes from a life lived with intention. A soft line fades in on screen: longevity isn't luck. It's a lifestyle. And that's the truth. Everything you just watched, from the way you move to what you eat, to how you think, connect, and dream, it all adds up. These are not just health tips. They are powerful choices. Choices that anyone, at any age, can begin making. Starting tonight. Starting now. Living long isn't just about adding more years to your life. It's about adding more life to your years. More laughter. More connection. More purpose. Because no matter how old you are, your story isn't over. You're still the author. You get to decide what the next chapter looks like. So take a breath. Look ahead. You don't need a perfect body, perfect past, or perfect plan. You just need one decision: to stop drifting and start living. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 longevity secrets felt the hardest or maybe the most inspiring for you? Is it moving more? Finding purpose? Rebuilding healthy habits? Leave us a comment below, because when you share, you might light the way for someone else too. And if you want more tools, more motivation, and more reminders that age is just a number, don't forget to hit subscribe. We're here every week with new ideas to help you not just survive, but thrive. Because long life isn't just possible. It's a choice. And you're ready.